Welcome back to Empowered K-12. I'm your host, Elena Pinkley, and joining me today are Dr. John Bailey, the founder of ACEE, and Shannon Allen, one of our incredible panel members helping shape the coalition from day one. John, I'd love to start with you. So for listeners who may be meeting you for the first time, can you walk us through the path that led you into K-12 and what called you into the work you're doing today?
Absolutely. And Elena, it's such a pleasure to be with you today just to talk about the vision of ACE and to be here with Shannon that I've worked with for so many years. So I spent 35 years in public education. I was actually a soccer coach, a teacher. Then I moved into administration, was an assistant principal, a high school principal, and I finished my career in a large urban school district, Chesapeake Public Schools here in Chesapeake, Virginia. And I was the director of school plants for that division. In 2009, I wrote a dissertation that focused on the school building condition and the influence on student achievement, student behavior, and student attitude. I was also the national staff writer for the School Planning and Management magazine, where I wrote on varied topics in facilities management, from IEQ to other pertinent things that were happening in the country at that time. I'm currently the director of operations for the Hampton Roads Convention Center that's run by Legends Global, which is the largest event planning company in the world. And I've been in that role for 6 months. And I'm also actively engaged with the Virginia School Plant Management Association, and I run their professional development and their conference on an annual basis. And this is where, hence, my relationship with Shannon, where we have run several state and national conferences over the last 7 or 8 years.
Thank you for sharing, John. And Shannon, just to kind of hear a little bit more about your experience, how did your journey in school facilities begin and evolve?
Sure. Yes. Thank you, Alina, for having me as well. So, yes, I met John Bailey back in how long ago was it? It's been several years, and we met at a conference regarding K-12 and at a K-12 summit, and this really enabled us to understand and grow the support and environments within the K-12 space. I've always been part of the K-12 vertical market in my sales experience and have really enjoyed sharing and learning and supporting those school environments and establishing the security within those K-12 and higher ed spaces. Now, we all know that the security space within those school districts has been very important and vital, especially in probably the last 10 years. So I'm excited to be a part of learning and growing that space.
Absolutely. Thank you both for sharing that. And I'm excited to dive in a little bit more and talk about ACE and how both of your experiences kind of contribute to the bigger mission that we're working on. John, with you, I kind of just wanted to start with the why. What led you to create ACE, and what needs did you see in the K-12 facility space that weren't being met?
Well, about the last 10 years, I've been involved with another national nonprofit, and also been tied strongly here in Virginia to the Virginia School Plant Management Association as the past president and conference planner and board member here in Virginia. I was also the CEO and executive director for another larger national nonprofit for several years as well before I retired. I tell you, the reason why I decided to write a set of bylaws and set a mission and vision for a new prototype was I've been all over the country. I've been to most of the state school plant management association shows. I've also been involved in a lot of the prototype conferences, such as RTM and the K-12 Facility Forum and OPAL, which are all very good conferences with unique perspectives on how they're run. So what I did is I took a myriad of those experiences, and then I combined what I felt would be a unique prototype that could still have the influence on the school building condition, and then hopefully with a research design model, produce some results that can help superintendents and school boards make really unified decisions on decision making for things that they want to do from the building condition standpoint and how it's going to affect the building environment for those other variables such as achievement behavior and the overall impression that kids have when they walk into that school building.
From your perspective, Shannon, what made ACE stand out and what kind of impact do you think it can have?
Sure. Well, first of all, knowing that John Bailey is leading this coalition, obviously, is the main point, and very positive knowing his history, but also just the uniting facility managers and vendors and partners and creating an environment that really bridges the operations and learning environments for the students is really, a passion that I feel and want to help drive, but also, focusing on the academic achievements, the building environments, the research, helping with grants and things like that really can support K-12 nationally, not only from a vendor perspective, but obviously from a facilities perspective. And then also the mission to really deliver the resources, the educational support, the latest trends in schools, because as technology evolves and develops, it's ever changing and really staying on the forefront of that. And I see ACE really being the leader in that space.
And I think, we've talked a lot about ACE in our board meetings and how it's very different from anything else in the space and how we're trying to build something that's very unique and the format is very unique. But just kind of to dive in a little deeper to that, what does that look like in action to you, John?
Okay, so having a strong vision and mission is the essential framework to anything. Everyone in ACE from the membership perspective is an active school executive, school facility leader. And many of us, like Dr. Fletcher out of Colorado, Dr. Timmons here in Virginia, are avid researchers. So we have the research components on different things we explored for our dissertation. So I have built a strong group of just wonderful people first. And then second, they love kids and they care about the future of education here in the United States. So that alone, the mission and vision are very well formed, and having the right people at the table, I believe we can achieve anything.
Absolutely. And I think another thing just to highlight about our board is they're all from different places across the nation and they're all from various school sizes. So I think that really helps us get, a grasp on what school districts are facing across the country, and regardless of how big they are, how small they are, and where they're at in terms of budget is really going to go a long way in helping with our research too. John, can you talk a little bit more about what's next, as we head into 2026 and what are some of the upcoming things that we're planning out?
Yeah, so, the last several months, a set of bylaws were formed and vetted. We had pretty much finalized the key members, the executive school facility leaders, with your help and Shannon's and the advisory board's members' help. So now we're building all of our sponsors. And so that's what I really wanted to talk about next is why a coalition? Why are we taking this next step? Number one, no national conferences, only regional events that are think tanks that are discussing key topics for future research and presenting research findings. No long drawn out conferences, no big trade shows, select amount of key business partners from across the country that are in a national role in our public schools, which will all have board seats that are all non-compete. And at these regional events that we do, we're going to provide the research that we do.
What are you most looking forward to about some of the regional events?
It's the collaboration with people. It's the storytelling, it's listening to what their pains are. It's also working together in small groups with these folks to say, okay, we've identified the problems. What are some of the solutions? What can the coalition do to help you and your school district build some type of bond or some type of influence to help guide as industry experts, help guide your superintendent and or your school board to make really conscious decisions about things that are happening from the physical environment in schools and how we think can help them get over the achievement gap. It could be many things from their standardized state test scores, it could be dropout rates at secondary schools. It could just be the overarching issue of kids just don't want to come to your school or be in your school district. How can we kind of make that shift in public education to get kids excited about school, to get excited about trades, to get excited about alternative forms of education? So we have many shoes instead of one shoe fits all.
Yeah. I'm really excited for the collaboration piece too, because those roundtables and the breakout type of things, those are so helpful for people just to exchange and have those private conversations. So Shannon, what kind of conversations or projects are you most excited to help lead through ACE?
Sure. So I think really understanding the facility managers, the business partnerships, collaborating, I think that's going to be a key word with this coalition is really the collaboration between that knowledge base, right? And you spoke a little bit about the roundtables, and I think that's really where so much is shared. And I think that's why the coalition too is so different, is because, standing at a booth and sharing new products is great. However, I think for the goals of this coalition, really sharing the knowledge of those that are in the schools, providing the services, sharing new products and technologies that they might not know about is really what's exciting to me. Not only from my standpoint from a security perspective, but indoor air quality, maybe even from a furniture perspective and layouts, and what does that school environment truly look like? And I think that again, the collaboration, those roundtables and knowledge sharing is what is really exciting to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like you mentioned, the collaboration piece, that is going to be probably our word of the year next year. But I think what's really important too is that we really are collaborating with the right people. These are all the people that are very passionate about helping educational environments and what I think to be some of the top K-12 facilities leaders in the field. So I think that's really going to go a long way in making a lot of progress.
Absolutely. Yes. John has done a great job with choosing individuals who have that passion and are sharing that passion and want to be a part of this board and really make an impact on, what that school environment looks like now and what it looks like in the future.
Do you both have anything else you'd like to share with our listeners today?
Yeah, I've got a few other things, Elena. Having a set of core values is also important. Not only a good mission and strong vision, but a set of core values, a strong strategic plan. So not only the members and our business partners know what the overarching goals are for the next few years, but they know the objectives and the strategies that we're going to put in place. So there's transparency on what we're trying to do and what we're going to accomplish. Our core values are five core values that include integrity, excellence, teamwork, empowerment, and social responsibility. And I believe, the folks that we are bringing into this coalition have those five core values. So I think that part of it is going to be very special. Again, aligning the right people. But going back to our business sponsors, I think Shannon hit it right on the head. No big trade shows. No several hours of going booth to booth. I wanted a very short list of special key business partners in the K-12 industry that have our same philosophies, but also share their research findings. A lot of these folks have a lot of data that they haven't been put into play. So that is what I'm trying to target with these business leaders is saying, let's take some of your research over time for capital forecasting and other things like that, the impact of a quality environment through lighting or furniture or wellness in a school building through IAQ and those things, taking those components from the business sponsors and then incorporating them in to our research is unfounded. The other piece is our business sponsors, it's a 21 member board. So there are 11 executive school facility leaders and only 10 sponsors. So, meaning the sponsors also have a board position. And that's never heard of. You have vendor representatives and things like that. But these key decision makers on the K 12 business sponsor side will also have a seat at the table to decide. They know the pulse from their business development managers and their account executives of the pulse of what's happening around the market in the country. So not only can we, leverage the executive leaders and what we're doing there in their day-to-day operations as chief operations officers, executive directors, but now we can take the component from the business sponsor and merge those general practices and ideas to come up with some really wonderful and unique solutions that are going to help kids around the country.
I think just having the vendors on the board is such a huge piece because, a lot of places tend to silo people out. But if you really want to make that change, you have to have people at the same table working together. It's kind of, I'm not sure if you saw my post the other day, John, but it's kind of how I have my podcast set up. Like, I'm going to have everyone involved. It's not going to be just for district leaders or just for vendors. It's for everyone.
Absolutely. And I believe in diversity, being inclusive of different folks because, it does take all of us to make it happen. Again, I spent 35 years, helping hundreds of kids, walk across the stage, get their diplomas. Some of them were the first in their family to ever graduate. So, I mean, those accomplishments that these kids work really, really hard for, but now we're seeing a shift. It's more, more opportunities there. We need plumbers and electricians, and we need carpenters, and we need all these other things that are now outside of the norm that we're used to. Get a good education, graduate from high school, go to college, get a 4-year degree. Well, you can actually go to trade school in an adult program right out of high school and probably make more money with a certification, being a journeyman's in a few years and then getting your master's license that you will with a professional degree. So, we're going to encourage diversity in schools. We're going to help principals, superintendents, and we're going to also leverage our other partnerships through the AASA, also through the National School Board Association, United States Green Building Council, PATH, and others that we look to partner with to provide resources, research, and the main thing, everyday greatness. Our kids are worth whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm. I'm really excited for 2026 and seeing where ACE is headed. I think it's gonna bring a lot of impactful changes and, a lot of collaboration that I'm really looking forward to.
Elena, I want to make a comment real quickly from a vendor perspective, and I think from that perspective, it's not just about pitching our products, right? This is an environment where we want to share our knowledge, our experience, what we're learning in our own space from a vendor perspective, and sharing that, not just again to pitch our own product, but to really share what we've learned, to really encourage those that who might be interested in that K-12 vertical market and to get involved and to share their knowledge because it's really important. We're shaping the future. It takes a village, right? Kind of what John said, it takes a village. So it's really taking kind of that group collaborative perspective on supporting and growing that space for the future.
And Elena, one final point for me. All of us are tied into LinkedIn. We, our brand recognition is all over LinkedIn. I encourage any of our viewers to follow our American Coalition for Educational Environment's LinkedIn page. So you can follow the membership, you can follow, our journey, follow some of our engagements. And also, if there's any other feedback or comments you want to give or any other partnership opportunities, you can inbox any of us through our LinkedIn pages or through the coalition page, and we'll get right back to you. So we look forward, our team looks forward to doing something unique and very special to help kids and help staffs in public schools, private schools across the country.
John and Shannon, thank you both so much for being a part of this conversation and just helping to build something that's going to change how we collaborate and how we think about school environments. To learn more or get involved, you can request to join the American Coalition for Educational Environments through our group LinkedIn page. I'm Elena Pinkley, your host. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.